These are the latest pictures from Tripoli, the black plumes of smoke emerging from the compound of Muammar Gaddafi. Rebel fighters have now entered the fortress. And indeed Gaddafi's house itself. You can hear rebel chanting and rounds being fired. Gaddafi's whereabouts unknown. A Russian official reportedly spoke to him by phone, where he said he would stay in the capital and fight to the end. Yet some government forces are reported to be retreating to Sirte, his hometown. Whether or not he is with them or has made his way there for a last stand is unknown. As the whereabouts of Muammar Gaddafi remain unknown, the international community has been making moves to try and secure the post-war situation. The EU has moved to unfreeze Libyan assets that were imposed as part of the sanctions against Gaddafi's regime. The European Union has also called on rebel fighters to protect civilians in the capital. Once again, the Tripoli skyline covered with black smoke after heavy fighting in the capital. The very latest we have is that rebels have entered the Gaddafi compound, the fortress, and indeed entered the house of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, the current leader of Libya, but for how long remains to be seen. Gunshots This is the compound, from just outside the compound, where we can see rebel vehicles, heavily armed rebel vehicles, milling around. There's evidence of the destruction. They appear to be moving around freely. Though fighting is still continuing. One rebel fighter shouting, "God is great." If it's correct, what Gaddafi said to the Russian official by phone, he says he will stay in Tripoli and fight till the end. That end appears to be close. His forces in and around the compound are beginning to lay down their arms and resist fighting, cease fighting. How true that is remains to be seen. There are pockets of Gaddafi supporters around the capital. Snipers and mercenaries make the place an extremely dangerous city. Casualties are being removed and taken to the overcrowded hospitals. As this situation unfolds. More evidence of fighting.
What is this place?
This is the main...
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the main base of the Gaddafi. It's called Bab al-Atiziyya.
Yes.
His headquarters here.
Yes.
All the rebels, they are there in his front door. They are there shouting, Allah great, Allah great. They search all the area. Everything is okay. You can go inside.
Can I go there now?
Yeah, you can go. I just came back to take my car.
Can you take me?
Yeah, I got my car.
I have this.
Yeah, you can.
You want to come with me?
I got my car.
I'll follow you.
Yeah,
I'll follow you. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna follow this dude. I got a couple.
It looks as if we'll be receiving pictures shortly from inside the compound. Where it appears that the rebels have now taken control. And the next question remains, is the whereabouts of Gaddafi himself. So just to reiterate, a dramatic day in Libya. Fighting has been raging around the Gaddafi compound all of the day. Rebel fighters backed by NATO aircraft. And in the latest pictures, which we're receiving from the Libyan capital, the rebels appear to have prevailed. They are now in control of the area and have entered the house of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. There are no figures regarding casualties of the ongoing battles. But it is now clear that the rebels are in total control. The rebels are in total control of the Bab al-Azizia fortress, such an emblem, a symbol of Gaddafi's grip on power. We can see a prisoner being led out. As the rebel forces move in, they will be taking prisoners from Gaddafi's supporters. We're seeing pictures of injured people. From which side, it's not yet clear. But all the celebration is going on the side of the rebels. We are now entering into the compound, seeing pictures for the very first time of the seat of Gaddafi's power. 40 years he ruled the country. It now appears that that rule is close to an end.
Okay, go.
These are pictures from inside the former compound of Muammar Gaddafi, heavily fortified and protected. However, the defences failed to stop the rebels from breaking through and taking control.
Ciao.
These extraordinary pictures from a live battle situation, though it's thought that most of the forces loyal to Gaddafi and the emblem that served as a backdrop to many of Gaddafi's speeches speeches of defiance, speeches where he promised to crush the rebels. And as the pictures suggest, it looks as though it's Gaddafi and his regime itself that has been crushed. The symbol represents Libyan defiance in the face of the American attacks. It seems many moons ago that Tripoli was attacked by the US. And the long shot of the Tripoli skyline, and here we return to the symbol of Gaddafi's grip on power, with rebel fighters standing on top of the hand that crushed the US warplanes, no doubt having their photographs taken on this historic day for Libya and those involved in ousting Muammar Gaddafi. The whereabouts of the colonel unknown.
Hold on, let's roll, Rob. Guys inside now. Inside, no, not in the building. In that way. I want to bring the dish yet.
It's been a feature of the civil war in Libya, the rebel arms, trucks with artillery perched on the back.
Yo, we can feed this straight on direct off camera. Okay, let's do it. Well, I also have a lot of these driving shots. Is that okay? Sergey, go a little bit forward. A little bit forward. A little forward. Keep going. Here, just Sergey. Stop right here. Stop right here. Stop right here. Orders is here. We need to leave. Robert, see. Orders is here. Let's go. They've got a B gun now.
If you're just joining us, we're bringing you these live pictures from inside Gaddafi's compound in the capital of Tripoli, where rebel fighters have taken control of his fortified residence. There's still no sign of the Libyan leader of 42 years. The United States earlier said that they believe that Gaddafi is still in Libya, but exact information on his whereabouts remain a mystery. There has been heavy exchanges of gunfire and rocket fire around the area since this morning. No exact figures on how many people have been injured or how many people have been killed. But rebel fighters saying that they have taken over Gaddafi's residence in the centre of Tripoli. Earlier, NATO aircraft carried out bomb attacks on the Bab al-Azir fortress. And the Reuters news agency reported earlier that Gaddafi's forces indeed gave up fighting. They lay down their weapons and have retreated to his hometown of Sirte. So just to remind you, bring these live pictures from central Tripoli, where rebel fighters say they have taken Gaddafi's compound. The Reuters news agency reported earlier that there was little or no resistance. Sorry, I should say that Gaddafi's forces gave up their weapons and retreated to his hometown of Sirte. Our own correspondent, Mustafa Bag, he's on the ground there. He says that the rebels are celebrating the overthrow of Gaddafi. Well, from what they perceive to be the overthrow of Gaddafi, having taken his fortified residence. Just to update you a little, perhaps, on the diplomatic front, there have been a number of countries today that have recognised Libya's rebel movement as the legitimate representative of the Libyan people. Those are Nigeria, Iraq, Morocco, Tunisia and Greece. They've all joined many other Western powers who over the past few months have recognised the Libyan rebel movement as the legitimate representatives of the country's people. Now, another flash coming in. There's reports that President Nicolas Sarkozy and US President Barack Obama plan to hold a conference in Paris on discussing ways to support a post-Gaddafi Libya. The Libyan leaders' whereabouts remain a mystery. Interfax, that's a Russian news agency, quoted a senior official as saying Gaddafi was still in Tripoli, and he would stay in the capital till his death, if necessary. So the picture you can see on your screen is the smoke billowing out from what appears to be Gaddafi's compound. That's the main shot that we have. So we're just going to bring you an update on the situation with the Dominique Strauss-Kahn case. We're just going to cross over